The battlefield was silent now. Only smoke and broken machines remained. The human soldier lay among the ruins, his body weak, his uniform torn, and his chest burning with pain. He tried to move, but his legs did not answer. His blood painted the ground, mixing with the dust of a strange alien world. He had fought for hours, maybe days. He could not remember clearly. His mind was heavy, his breath shallow. Around him the night was falling and the stars above looked strange, different from the ones he knew back on Earth. He whispered to himself, "Am I going to die here, alone?" Far away, a sound echoed. It was soft at first, like a song carried by the wind. He lifted his head with great effort. His vision blurred, but he thought he saw a figure moving in the shadows. His heart beat faster. Was it an enemy come to finish him or a ghost waiting for his soul? The figure came closer. He saw a tall shape with glowing eyes. She walked slowly, her steps light as if she floated over the ground. Her skin shimmered faintly in the dim light, and her face was calm yet strange. Not human, but not cruel. She stopped beside him and knelt. Her voice was gentle. "Human, can you hear me?" He tried to answer, but only a broken sound escaped his throat. The alien woman placed her hand on his chest. Her touch was warm, almost soothing. He felt his pain ease for a moment, but fear filled him. Why was she here? Why would an alien care if a human lived or died? "You are wounded badly," she whispered. Her voice carried both sorrow and strength. "If you stay here, you will not see another sunrise." The human closed his eyes, his strength was leaving him fast. But then he felt her lift his arm carefully. She was not harming him, she was helping. With effort, she pulled him up. Her body looked small compared to his, yet her strength was surprising. He leaned against her, each breath like fire in his lungs. She guided him through the dark path. He wanted to ask her who she was, why she cared, but words refused to form. They reached a small shelter, a place hidden among broken stone walls. She laid him down on a soft mat. The air inside smelled of herbs and strange oils. A faint light glowed from a crystal hanging on the wall. She touched his forehead and whispered again, "Rest now, human, I will not let you die." He looked into her glowing eyes. They were not cold like the enemies he had seen in battle. There was something else, something he could not understand. As his vision dimmed again, he wondered, was she a savior, or was this just another trick before death? The last thing he heard before sleep claimed him was her strange promise. "Do not fear. If you want milk, just close your eyes." His heart froze at her words. What did she mean, milk? Why would an alien doctor speak in riddles when his life was slipping away? The darkness pulled him under, but her voice stayed in. His mind, soft, haunting, and full of mystery. The human woke slowly. His body felt heavy, but the fire in his chest had cooled. He opened his eyes to a faint glow. The ceiling above was not made of metal or stone, he knew. It looked like woven threads of silver, shimmering faintly as if alive. A gentle smell filled the air, a mix of herbs and something sweet. He tried to sit up, but his body refused. His arms trembled and he sank back. Panic rushed through him. Where was he? Who had brought him here? Then, a soft voice came from the corner. "Do not move too fast, your wounds are deep." He turned his head slowly and saw her, the alien woman. She was sitting beside a bowl of glowing water, her hands moving carefully as if she was mixing medicine. Her skin reflected the light, smooth and pale with a faint shimmer. Her eyes glowed faintly golden, deep and endless. Her face was strange yet beautiful. Her clothing was simple, flowing fabric tied around her waist. Unlike the armor of soldiers, she did not look like a warrior. She looked like a healer. "You saved me," he whispered with dry lips. She tilted her head slightly. "Not yet, but I will try." She walked closer and placed her hand on his forehead. The warmth of her touch spread through him again, calming his fear. "Who are you?" he asked with a weak voice. She hesitated before answering. "I am called Leora, a doctor of my people." Her voice lowered, as if afraid of being heard by the walls themselves. "But if the council learns what I have done, I will be punished." The human frowned, punished for saving a life. She nodded, her glowing eyes dim with sorrow. Yes, because your kind is forbidden to receive our healing. It is a sacred rule. To break it is to betray my own people. His chest tightened. He wanted to ask why she risked everything for him, but she spoke first. Her words made his heart stop. If you want milk, just close your eyes. He stared at her, confused. Milk, he repeated. What are you talking about? She looked at the floor, her voice trembling. My body produces something. Our ancient gift. It is a healing milk that can close wounds, restore life. But it is not meant for humans. Still, without it, you will die before the next moonrise. Silence filled the room. The human's breath grew shallow. Was this real? Or was she trying to trick him? His heart screamed at him to be careful, but her golden eyes showed no lies, only fear and hope. You want me to drink this milk of yours? He asked. His voice cracked between disbelief and desperation. She nodded once, her hands trembling. Yes, but only if you close your eyes. You must not look. You must trust me. The human turned his face toward the ceiling. His body was weak, his mind was spinning. He thought of home, of earth, of battles lost and friends buried. Was this how his story would end? In the hands of a strange alien woman offering forbidden milk? Yet something inside him whispered, this is no enemy. This is someone who chose to save you when others would let you die. Her voice reached him again, soft and urgent. Please, human, time is running short. You must decide. Do you trust me? His heart pounded. The room grew colder. He shut his eyes slowly, whispering one word. Yes. Leora leaned closer. Her breath brushed against his ear as she whispered again, then take the milk and let it heal you. The human waited, trembling as her hand touched his lips. Something warm and sweet flowed into his mouth. A strange energy moved through him. His wounds throbbed, his chest burned, his mind spun. Was this healing, or was it the beginning of something far more dangerous? The human lay still, his eyes closed, his heart beat faster with every second. He could feel the warmth of the alien doctor's hand as she guided the strange milk past his lips. It was unlike anything he had tasted before. Sweet, yet sharp, heavy yet light. As it slid down his throat, his entire body reacted. At first there was pain. A deep burn spread through his chest, as if fire raced inside his veins. He wanted to open his eyes, to push her away, but her soft voice stopped him. Do not move, do not open your eyes, trust me. He gritted his teeth. The burning grew hotter, but slowly it turned into warmth. His wounds pulsed as if stitching themselves together. His breath, once shallow and weak, grew deeper. His chest lifted with strength he had not felt since before. The battle, the alien woman, Leora, kept her hand on his chest. Her glowing eyes focused on him. She whispered prayers in a language he did not know. Her voice trembled with both fear and hope. She knew what she was doing could cost her everything, yet she did not stop. Finally, the burning eased. His body grew lighter. His heart calmed and a strange energy filled him. He felt alive again, alive in a way that was not natural. He whispered through trembling lips, "What have you done to me?" Leora pulled her hand back, her face pale, her eyes wide. "I gave you life," she said softly. "But you must not tell anyone, not your people, not mine. This treatment is forbidden. If they find out, I will be taken away and destroyed." The human tried to rise. His body obeyed more than before. He could feel strength in his arms and legs. It was as if his blood had turned new, his vision sharper, his pain fading. "Why risk your life for me?" he asked, his voice low. Leora looked at him with a sorrowful smile. "Because I could not watch another soul fade into the dark, because you looked at me not as an enemy, but as a person." She paused, her voice breaking. "And maybe because I am tired of obeying rules that kill instead of heal." Her words sank deep into his heart. He remembered the battles, the screams, the endless deaths. No alien had ever spoken like this before. He wanted to believe her, but a shadow of fear lingered. What if this milk had done more than heal him? As if sensing his thought, Leora whispered, "You may feel changes. The milk binds life to life. Your body will heal, but you will never be the same. It is not only flesh that is touched. It is the soul." The human froze. His mind raced. What did she mean? Bound. Changed forever. He touched his chest, feeling the steady beat of his heart. It was strong. Too strong. Almost unnatural. He stared at her, his voice sharp. "What have you tied me to?" Before she could answer, a sound echoed outside the shelter. Heavy footsteps, voices speaking in harsh tones. Leora's eyes widened in terror. She placed a finger to her lips, signaling him to stay silent. Through the cracks of the broken wall, shadows moved. Alien guards with glowing spears searched the ruins. Their voices carried anger. "The doctor has broken the law. She hides the human. Find them both." The human clenched his fists. His body wanted to fight, but he knew he was not fully ready. Leora leaned close, her whisper urgent. "They must not find you. If they do, you will be killed, and I will be taken away forever." His heart raced. The healing milk had saved his life, but it had also painted a target on both of them. He looked into her golden eyes, and for the first time, he realized her fate and his were now bound together. The human lay quietly, his ears sharp to the sound of footsteps fading into the night. Outside, the guards moved through the ruins, their voices like knives, but slowly the noise grew faint, and silence returned. Inside the shelter, only his breath and hers remained. He turned his head toward Leora. His chest no longer burned, his arms no longer shook. It was as if his body belonged to someone stronger. His wounds had closed into faint scars, his vision clearer than before. The milk had done something beyond healing. "I should not feel this strong so soon," he whispered, his voice low but firm. "This is not just medicine." Leora looked away, her hands tightening around the empty bowl, her eyes dimmed as if hiding a truth too heavy. At last she spoke. "The milk heals flesh, yes, but it also reaches deeper. It touches life itself, it binds what was broken, it does not only mend, it gives more." Her voice trembled on the last word. The human sat up slowly. His muscles obeyed, his breath steady. He clenched his fists, feeling power flow through him. The sensation frightened him. This was no ordinary recovery. It was as if his body remembered how to fight. Yet it was also something new. He looked at her again. "Why me? Why risk yourself? Why give me this when you knew the cost?" Leora's golden eyes lifted, shining with pain. "Because I could not let you die. I have seen too much death, too many left behind, and when I saw you, I saw not an enemy, but a soul reaching for life." The human's chest tightened. No one had spoken to him like that since leaving Earth. He swallowed hard, fighting emotions he did not expect. Still, doubt lingered. "And what of the bond you spoke of?" he asked, his voice sharper now. "What have you tied between us?" Leora stepped closer. Her fingers brushed his arm lightly, sending a shiver through him. "When my milk enters another, it creates a connection. I feel your pain, and you feel mine. Your life beats with mine. If you fall, I fall. If I bleed, you bleed." His eyes widened, his breath caught. "That means I cannot escape you." She nodded slowly. "Nor I from you. It is the law of the gift, and it cannot be undone." For a long moment, silence filled the room. The human's mind spun. To survive, he had accepted her help, but now he was bound. In a way he had never known. He looked at her, this alien doctor with trembling hands yet unbroken will. She had chained his life to hers, and yet he did not feel anger. He felt something else, but before he could name it, the sound of the crystal lamp flickered. The shelter shook slightly as a distant roar echoed across the sky. He stiffened. What was that? Leora's eyes widened. The hunters release their beast when they fail to find their prey. If they release them near this place, they will smell your human blood. His heart pounded. He rose to his feet, almost surprised at his own strength. "Then we cannot stay," he said firmly. She nodded, already gathering her herbs and crystals. "Yes, but we must be careful. If the council learns the bond exists, they will hunt us until the end of time." The human clenched his jaw. His fate was sealed with hers now. He thought of the battlefield, of comrades lost, and he realized this strange bond might be his only chance to live, and perhaps her only chance to be free. As they prepared to leave the shelter, Leora placed her hand on his chest once more, her touch calm, her voice soft. "Do not fear the bond. It may feel like chains, but sometimes chains are what keep us alive." He stared at her glowing eyes, uncertain whether to trust her words or fear them, but deep inside he knew this was only the beginning. Night stretched long and heavy across the ruined valley. The human and Leora moved quietly, leaving the shelter behind. The ground crunched beneath their feet, but every step was cautious. For now, silence was their only shield. The human felt stronger than before, yet the strange bond pulsed within him. Whenever Leora's breath grew quick, his chest tightened. Whenever her steps faltered, his own balance wavered. It was as if invisible threads tied them together and he could not cut them. They reached a ridge overlooking the broken settlement. From there he saw faint glows moving between the ruins, not torches but alien crystals carried by guards. Their voices carried through the air, harsh and cold. "They search for you," Leora whispered. Her golden eyes narrowed. "They know I have broken the law. They will not rest until I am punished." The human clenched his fists. "Then we keep moving. We stay ahead of them." But even as he spoke, he felt it, eyes watching, a presence in the dark. It was not only the guards. Something else hid in the shadows, something quieter. He turned sharply, scanning the rocks. Leora stiffened, her body trembling. She whispered, "The Watchers." Her voice was almost a hiss. "Not soldiers, not beasts, but spies. They serve the council in secret, they see everything, they report everything." The human's jaw tightened. He had fought enemies with weapons and claws, but never unseen spies that lurked like ghosts, he whispered back. "Can they see us now?" Leora's hand shook. "Yes, they are always near, hidden in the cracks of stone and the folds of shadow. They do not fight. They only watch, and their words condemn." His heart pounded. He hated the thought of unseen eyes following them. He stepped closer to Leora, lowering his voice. "Then we must move quickly, before their whispers reach the council." They hurried down a narrow path, the air colder now. The stars above glimmered faintly, strange constellations he did not know. Leora guided him with steady steps, but her eyes darted to every shadow. Her fear seeped into him through the bond, making his own heart race. At last they reached a small cave hidden behind thorny vines. Leora pulled them aside and let him in. The walls glowed faintly with moss, casting pale light. For a moment, it felt safe, but the human could not shake the feeling of being watched. His voice echoed softly. "Why do they fear your milk so much? Why forbid healing if it saves lives?" Leora sat against the stone wall, her head bowed. "Because the milk does more than heal, it ties souls. It breaks the barriers between kinds. My people fear that bond. They fear what it means if humans and we become one." The human stared at her. His heart thudded with unease, but also with something else, curiosity, perhaps even a strange hope. He whispered, "Then they are right to fear, because I feel it too. This bond is real." Her eyes lifted wide with shock. For a moment silence held them. Then the cave shuddered. A faint scraping noise echoed from outside, like claws dragging across stone. Leora froze, her golden eyes wide. She whispered, "The Watchers have sent something. They do not only observe, sometimes they summon the hunters." The human stood, his fists tightening. Strength surged in his veins, the milk's power humming beneath his skin. "Let them come," he growled. "I am not as weak as before," but deep down, he wondered if he spoke truth, or if the Watchers had already seen too much. The cave grew colder. The scratching sound outside grew louder, echoing through the stone walls. The human stood ready, his fists clenched, his heart racing. Beside him, Leora pressed her back against the wall, her golden eyes glowing faint in the moss light. "They are near," she whispered. "Hunters." Her voice trembled, but her gaze stayed fixed on the dark entrance. The human narrowed his eyes. "Then let them come." He could feel it now, the bond. It pulsed like a second heartbeat inside his chest. Every breath Leora took, he felt. Every fear that shook her body, he carried. But along with it came strength, raw and strange. His wounds were gone, his muscles alive. His body felt heavier, but faster, stronger. The sound grew clearer. Then two shapes crawled into the light, beasts of alien flesh, low to the ground with glowing jaws and long claws that scraped the stone. Their eyes burned red, their breath steaming as if fire lived inside them. Leora's hand reached for the human's arm. "We cannot fight them, they are bred to kill. Even soldiers fall before them." The human shook his head, his voice sharp. "I won't run again." The first beast lunged. The human moved instinctively, faster than he thought possible. He grabbed a stone from the ground and slammed it against the beast's jaw. The impact shook the cave. The beast yelped and rolled back. For a moment, even Leora gasped. Her bond trembled with shock. She could feel his power. The human stared at his hands, stunned. The milk had changed him. He was not just healed, he was stronger, but there was no time to think. The second beast leaped, claws slicing through the air. The human twisted, catching the strike on his arm. The claws cut deep, but the pain did not stop him. Instead, his strength surged harder. His fist crashed into the beast's skull, cracking bone, blood splattered across the stone. The creature fell with a cry. Leora pressed her hand to her lips, whispering prayers in her own tongue. Her bond shook wildly, not from fear but awe. The first beast rose again, its red eyes furious. The human growled, his breath heavy. He picked up a broken spear lying near the wall, perhaps left from another victim. He spun it in his hands, the weight perfect, his training as a soldier returned, but his power was new. The beast lunged once more, jaws wide. The human thrust the spear straight through its mouth, driving it deep until the creature slammed lifeless to the ground. Silence filled the cave again. Only their breaths remained. The human lowered the spear slowly, his chest rising and falling. He looked at Leora, whose wide golden eyes stared at him with disbelief. She whispered. "You should not have that strength. No human could stand against hunters alone, not without armor, not without weapons." The human dropped the spear, his hand trembling. "Then it's the milk." Leora nodded, her face pale. "Yes, but more than that. The bond has awakened something inside you. You are not only healed, you are changed." The human sat against the wall, his chest burning with questions. "Changed into what?" he asked. His voice echoed in the cave, low and uncertain. Leora stepped closer, her hands shaking as they touched his arm. "Something my people fear, something they tried to bury in law. The bond between us makes you stronger, but it also makes you mine. And if they learn of this, they will hunt us without end." The human's breath caught, his eyes locked on hers. The truth was clear now. He was not just surviving, he was becoming something new, bound to her, bound by a gift that made him more than human. Outside, faint horns echoed across the valley. More guards were coming. The human stood, strength pulsing through his veins. His voice was steady. "Then let them come, I will not let them take you." The night did not last in silence. After the hunters were slain, the human and Leora knew the danger was greater now. The watchers had seen, and the council would act. At dawn, horns echoed across the valley, deep and sharp, a sound that made the stones tremble. Leora froze as the echo reached their cave. Her golden eyes filled with dread, she whispered, "It is the summons." The human frowned. "Summons." His voice was low but steady. She nodded. "The council calls for me. It means they already know. They know I broke the law. They know I gave you the milk. Her voice cracked. And they know of the bond. The human clenched his fists. His veins still burned with the power of the night before. Then we do not go, he said firmly. We run. We fight. Whatever it takes. But Leora shook her head, her trembling hands clutching her robes. No, if we run, the council will send more than hunters. They will send armies. The summons is law. If I do not answer, they will burn every place I hide. He stared at her, anger flashing in his eyes. And what will happen if you go? She looked away, tears gathering. They will strip me of my name, of my place. Perhaps worse. The human's chest tightened. The bond pulsed, her fear pouring into him like fire. He stepped closer, his hand resting on her shoulder. Then I go with you, he said firmly. If they want you, they must face me too. Her eyes widened, shining with both shock and sorrow. You do not understand. Humans are not welcome in the council hall. They will not hear you. They will laugh at you. They will mock you as if you are dirt beneath their feet. He smirked faintly despite the tension. Then let them laugh, I have heard worse. The day moved quickly. Soon armored guards arrived at the cave, their crystal spears glowing, their faces cold. They surrounded the entrance and demanded, Leora of the healers, by order of the council you will come. You have broken sacred law, do not resist. The human stepped forward, his body blocking their path. The guards raised their weapons at once. Leora gasped, placing her hand on his chest. No, please, she whispered. If you fight now, they will kill us both before we reach the hall. Reluctantly, the human stepped back, his jaw tight, his eyes burning with fury. The guards shackled Leora's wrists with glowing chains. Her golden eyes dimmed, but she did not struggle. She only looked back at the human, her bond pulsing with pain. The guards sneered at him, one of them spitting near his boots. A human, he muttered. Nothing more than a parasite, yet she risked everything for you. Another guard laughed coldly. The council will enjoy tearing her apart for that mistake. The human's blood boiled. He wanted to strike them down, but Leora's gaze held him still. Her silent plea whispered through the bond. Not yet. They marched together, the human walking beside her though the guards tried to shove him away. The path led to a towering structure of black stone, carved with symbols that glowed faintly like fire trapped in rock. The council hall inside, the air was heavy with power. The seats of the rulers rose high in a circle, their faces proud and cruel, their eyes glowing with judgment. At the center, chains bound Leora to a pillar. Her small frame looked fragile under their gaze. One voice thundered from above. Leora, daughter of the healers, you stand accused of treachery. You gave the forbidden gift to a human. You created the bond. You broke the ancient law. The human's chest rose with anger. He stepped forward despite the guards, his voice roared through the chamber. Then accuse me too, because she saved my life and I will not let you take hers. The hall erupted in laughter, cruel and echoing. The counselors leaned forward, their mocking smiles sharp. To them, a human's words meant nothing, but to Leora, every word burned with hope. The great hall was filled with voices, harsh whispers, cruel laughter, and the heavy sound of judgment echoed through the stone walls. At the center, Leora stood chained to the pillar, her golden eyes lowered, her robes torn, her hands trembling in the glowing cuffs. The counselors looked down from their high seats, their eyes sharp, their faces proud. One of them spoke, his voice like thunder. Leora, daughter of healers, you stand accused of breaking the oldest law. You gave the forbidden milk to a human. You have created a bond where none should exist. The crowd hissed and jeered. Some shouted for punishment. Others called her a traitor. The sound was like knives cutting into her soul. She closed her eyes, whispering prayers under her breath, but the human could not stay silent. He stepped forward, his voice cutting through the noise. Enough, he shouted. She saved my life. She risked everything when your laws would have left me to die like an animal. His words echoed in the chamber. The guards tried to drag him back, but he shoved them aside. The bond surged, power burning in his veins, his chest rose with strength. You call her a traitor, but I call her a savior. Without her gift, I would not be standing here. Without her, I would be nothing but a corpse. Among ruins, the council laughed. Their leader leaned forward, his voice dripping with mockery. A human dares to speak in this hall. How amusing. Do you think your words carry weight here? Your kind is weak, unworthy. You are not even considered life in the same measure as ours. The human clenched his fists. His voice hardened. If I am weak, then why am I alive when your hunters tried to kill me? Why do I stand here stronger than before? Your law fears the truth that the bond is not a curse but a gift. Gasps echoed through the crowd. Murmurs spread like fire. Some aliens looked at him with shock, others with anger. The idea of a human speaking of strength unsettled them. Leora lifted her head, her voice trembling but firm. He speaks truth. I gave him my milk, and it healed not only his flesh but his soul. The bond is alive. It ties us together. I feel his breath in mine. I feel his pain in my chest. You can mock me, you can chain me, but you cannot break what has already been created. The counselor's eyes narrowed. Their leader rose, his robe flowing like shadow. You admit it then. You admit your betrayal. For that, you will suffer the trial of shame. The hall grew silent. Even the whispers died. The human turned, his voice sharp. What is the trial of shame? Leora's voice broke, her eyes filling with tears. It is no trial, she whispered. It is a death sentence dressed as justice. They will parade me before the people, strip me of my name, and cast me into the fire pit. No one survives. The human's heart pounded, his jaw tightened. He stepped closer, his voice roaring. If you cast her into fire, you cast me too. If she dies, I die. That is the bond you fear so much. The council leader laughed, his cruel smile spreading. Then so be it, human. You will both die, and the shame of your bond will end with you. The guards tightened their grip on their spears. The crowd roared for blood. Chains rattled, as Leora trembled. But her eyes found the human. For the first time, she whispered not with fear but with courage. If this is the end, then I am glad I shared my gift with you. His chest burned, his fists clenched. He knew he could not. Let this end here, not like this. The bond pulsed within him, urging him to act. The hall trembled with shouts. The crowd demanded punishment. Their voices rose like a storm. Leora stood in chains, her body weak but her spirit unbroken. The human stood beside her, his fists clenched, his eyes burning with fire. The council leader raised his hand, and the hall fell silent. His voice thundered. You claim the bond is real. You claim that if she dies, you die. Then prove it. Show us this forbidden connection. Gasps rippled through the chamber. The council wanted spectacle. They wanted proof to use against her. The human's jaw tightened. His chest rose as he stepped forward. Then I will prove it. Leora shook her head, her golden eyes wide with fear. No, she whispered. If they see it, they will know its power. They will never let us go. They will chain us forever. Or destroy us. Her voice trembled with desperation, but the human placed his hand gently over hers. The bond pulsed warm between them. His voice was calm but strong. If we hide, they will kill us anyway. Let them see. Let them understand. The council leader smirked. Very well, show us and seal your fate. The guards stepped forward, one striking the human across the chest with a spear. The weapon's crystal blade cut deep. Blood poured. Down. The crowd roared with cruel delight. Leora cried out. Her body jerked as pain tore through her chest. Her knees buckled. She gasped for air, clutching the wound that was not hers. Her golden eyes burned with agony. The hall froze in shock. The council leader's smile faltered. He leaned forward, watching. The guard struck again, slicing across the human's arm. Again, Leora screamed, the same cut opening across her pale skin as if the blade had struck her instead. The hall erupted in chaos. Some shouted in horror, others in disbelief. Never had they seen such a thing. The bond was undeniable and terrifying. The human's voice rose above the chaos. loud and defiant. Do you see now? Her life is my life. My blood is her blood. If you kill her, you kill me. If you kill me, you kill her. That is the truth your law tried to bury, the counselors muttered among themselves, their proud faces. Unsettled for the first time, one hissed, "It is impossible, the bond between kinds was destroyed ages ago." Another whispered, "No, it has returned." Leora raised her head despite the pain, her voice shaking but strong. "This is why. You feared the milk? Not because it heals, but because it unites, it breaks the walls between us, it makes us one." The crowd fell into silence. Fear and wonder mixed in their glowing eyes. Some looked at Leora with hatred, others with awe. The council leaders, face twisted with fury. "This is no gift," he shouted. "It is corruption, it is poison, it will spread if not destroyed." The human stepped closer to Leora, his voice sharp. "Call it what you want, but it saved me, and now I will save her even if I have to fight every one of you." The guards raised their weapons again, but this time the crowd hesitated. Whispers spread. Some murmured, "What if it is a blessing? What if this bond is hope?" Others hissed, "It is dangerous, it must be ended." The council leader slammed his staff against the ground. "Enough. The trial is over. They will both be cast into the fire pit at dawn." Chains rattled as Leora trembled, but the human tightened his grip on her hand, his voice low but steady. "Then we escape before dawn." Her golden eyes widened, hope flickering inside them. The bond pulsed warm, stronger than ever. The council's judgment echoed in the chamber. "At dawn, the human and the traitor shall be cast into the fire pit." The words struck like knives. The crowd roared, some in delight, others in fear. Guards dragged the human and Leora toward the prison chambers. Chains bound their wrists, glowing with crystal light. Every step rattled against the stone floor. The human kept his eyes forward, but the bond pulsed inside him, carrying Leora's fear into his chest. He whispered softly, so only she could hear, "We are not dying in their fire." Leora looked at him, her golden eyes filled with sorrow. "There is no escape. The prison walls are alive with energy. No one has ever broken them." The human smirked faintly, though his jaw was tight. "Then tonight we will be the first." They were thrown into a dark cell, heavy doors slamming shut behind them. The walls glowed faintly, humming with strange power. Leora sat against the cold stone, her chains glowing brighter as if feeding on her weakness. The human tested his cuffs, pulling hard. His veins bulged with strength, but the crystal burned against his skin. He sat beside her, lowering his voice. "The bond gives me strength. It healed my body. It helped me fight the hunters. Maybe it can help us now." Leora shook her head. "The prison was built to hold my kind, and now it holds you too. The bond might only make the chains stronger." The human clenched his fists. His heart pounded. He could not let despair win. He closed his eyes, focusing on the bond. For a moment he felt her heartbeat, her pain, her fear. He whispered, "Share it with me. Let me take it." Her eyes widened. "Take what?" "Your pain," he said, firmly. "Your weakness, give it to me." She hesitated, but the bond pulsed, and slowly she released it. A wave of agony crashed into him, burning his chest. His muscles screamed, but he did not stop. He pulled harder against the cuffs. The chains cracked, light flared. The humming walls trembled. Leora gasped. "It is working," he roared, pulling with all his strength. Until at last, the chains shattered, crystal shards scattered across the floor. The bond surged bright. Between them he rushed to her side, breaking her cuffs with the same strength. She collapsed into his arms, breathing hard. "You broke what no one could," she whispered, her voice trembling with awe. He helped her stand. "No prison can hold us. Not while we share this bond." They slipped through the shadows of the prison hall. Guards stood near the gates, their crystal spears glowing. The human moved first, silent as a predator, his strength sharper, his movements faster. He struck one guard with a stone, knocking him out cold. The second turned, but Leora lifted her hand, whispering words of healing magic twisted into force. The guard fell silent. The gates creaked open. The night air hit them, cold and sharp. The city loomed before them, towers of black stone glowing with fire. Horns still sounded in the distance, searching, warning. Leora's breath trembled. Once we leave the city, they will chase us. They will never stop. The human took her, hand firmly. Then let them chase, we will not stop either. They ran through narrow streets, shadows of guards crossing their path. Twice they ducked into alleys, once they climbed over broken walls. Every step was heavy with danger, but the bond pushed them forward. Their hearts beat as one. At the edge of the city, the walls rose tall and sharp, glowing with energy. Beyond them stretched the wild forests, freedom and danger waiting together. Leora's voice shook. How do we pass the wall? It kills anything that touches it. The human's eyes narrowed. He pressed his hand against the barrier. The crystal light burned his skin, but the bond surged again, stronger than before. Leora gasped as her power flowed into him. He pushed harder, roaring. The wall cracked with light, a hole tearing open just enough for them to slip through. On the other side, the night was silent. The forest stretched wide. The human held her close, his breath heavy. We are free. Leora's golden eyes glowed faint in the dark. Free but hunted. He nodded, his voice steady. Then we run together. The forest stretched endless before them. Trees rose tall, their leaves glowing faint under the alien moonlight. The human and Leora moved deeper, their breaths heavy but steady. The bond pulsed between them, stronger with every step. Behind them, horns echoed from the city. The council's guards were already searching, yet out here the shadows were their shield, and the stars their only witness. Leora leaned against him, her golden eyes soft. We cannot return. The city is lost to us forever. Her voice trembled, but not with fear, with acceptance. The human tightened his grip on her hand. Then, we do not look back. We find a new path. They followed a stream that cut through the forest, its water glowing faint with silver light. The human bent to drink, his reflection rippling in the surface. For the first time, he saw strength in his eyes, not the weakness of a dying soldier, but the fire of someone reborn. Leora knelt beside him, dipping her hand into the water. The bond is changing you, she whispered. Your strength grows faster than I thought. Possible my people would call you cursed, yet I see hope. The human smiled faintly, though his chest ached. Hope is what they fear. Hope that human and alien can be more than enemies. He paused, his eyes locking on hers. Hope that we can belong to each other. Her breath caught. Her golden eyes shimmered. Do you mean that? He nodded, his voice steady. You gave me life when I had nothing left. You risked everything. I cannot see myself apart from you now. Silence filled the forest, broken only by the stream. Then Leora leaned closer, her hand resting gently on his chest. She whispered, If you want milk, just close your eyes. His heart froze, but not with fear. The words no longer carried mystery. They carried trust. He closed his eyes slowly and felt her lips touch his, soft and trembling. The bond surged, not with pain or power, but with warmth that wrapped around them both. For the first time, he understood. The milk had healed his body, but her presence healed his soul. Their moment ended as the forest shook with distant howls. The council's hunters were near again. Leora pulled back, fear flashing in her eyes. They will not stop. They will follow until we are found. The human stood tall, gripping her hand. His voice was firm. Then let them follow. They will learn that I am not prey, and they will learn that you are not their prisoner. They moved deeper into the forest, the trees swallowing their shadows. As dawn broke, light spilled across the horizon, golden and bright. It painted the leaves, the river, and their faces with warmth. Leora looked at him, her eyes glowing softly. Perhaps this is what fate wanted, not their laws, not their fire, but this us. He nodded, his chest rising with calm strength. Then we make a new beginning. a place where no council rules, where the bond is not shame but strength. Together they walked toward the light, the bond steady, unbreakable. The city they left behind faded into memory. The world ahead was uncertain, filled with danger but also promise. The human tightened his grip on her hand, his voice low but sure. "As long as you are with me, I fear nothing." Leora smiled faintly, whispering once more. "Close. Your eyes, human, and trust." He closed them, not in fear, but in peace, and together they stepped into a new dawn.